Did you know that colon cancer could be advancing silently inside your body without you even realizing it until it's too late? That's right. That's why today we need to talk about this, because it could save your life. I'm going to tell you about warning signs that very few people recognize, which foods are doing more harm than you imagine, how to swap them for others that can literally block cancer, and the truth about colonoscopies and the key tests to prevent and even cure this cancer. And I'm also going to surprise you with facts almost no one shares about what you have stored in your pantry and fridge right now. So grab a pen and paper or get ready to take notes, because after this video, you'll look at your digestive health in a whole new way. Stay until the end because I'm saving the most important part for last. First, expectations versus reality. What comes to mind when you think of colon cancer? Pains, bleeding, obvious symptoms? The reality will surprise you. The vast majority of colon cancers don't cause symptoms until they're already advanced. Many patients say, "I was perfectly fine until one day." That's how silently it progresses. That's why prevention and knowing the early signs is more powerful than any medication. And today, I'm going to tell you how to spot those subtle signs. And not just that. What to do, what to change, and even how to prepare your food to give your body an advantage. Let's start with something shocking. There are foods you probably eat every day that are silently triggering inflammation and damage in your colon. Did you think processed foods just make you gain weight or raise your sugar or cholesterol? The truth is the damage goes much further. Let's talk first about refined seed oils, sunflower, corn, sesame. Who doesn't have these at home? But be warned, these oils are far from harmless. When you cook with them and see that white, gray, or even black smoke, those are thousands of toxic substances created by the heat. But the worst part? They create tiny holes in your intestines. Through these micro holes, bacteria, toxins, and even the tiniest fragments of fecal matter can pass into your blood. Literally, your intestine becomes porous. What follows? Chronic inflammation, destruction of your gut microbiome, which is like your gut's immune system, and over time, increased risk of cancer. That's how it is. Want a quick test of what happens with these oils? Try this next time you cook. If they release that strange smoke, ditch them, throw them out, change them now. And I promise I'll reveal in a few seconds which oil you should be using. And warning, it's not what you might think. But first, a promise. What you eat today can make the difference between a sick gut and one that protects your health. Now, something you probably use but haven't stopped to think about. Those cookies, snacks, chips, juices, and sodas that last for months in a supermarket. And when you open them, they're perfect, crunchy, shiny magic? No, it's the food industry using affirs like propylene glycol and maltodextrin. For some context, propylene glycol is also used as car antifreeze. That's right, you could be eating that. And here's another point. These foods are loaded with salt, sugar, colorants, and preservatives. The result? More holes in your intestine, more damage to your microbiome, inflammation, and risk of, yep, you guessed it, colon cancer. You might be thinking, but they taste so good. And yes, they do. But they're also an easy, convenient, delicious way to give cancer the perfect environment. And be careful, because chronic inflammation caused by these ultra-processed products is directly linked not only to cancer, but to a long list of diseases that you could avoid. If you damage your gut with these foods, you're losing your first line of defense. Keep listening, because I'm about to give you exact replacements for these foods and how to set up your kitchen to heal your gut. Now, here's a comparison that will make you think. Have you heard that processed meats like sausages, bacon, salami, cold cuts have been compared to tobacco? And it's no exaggeration. These meats contain nitrites and nitrates. When you cook them, or even just with the acid in your stomach, they turn into nitrosamines. And do you know what nitrosamines cause? Cancer. It's absolutely proven. Just one cold cut a day puts your gut health at risk. In fact, the World Health Organization officially equates their risk to that of tobacco. Just one processed meat, consumed regularly, is already enough to increase the risk. So, should we quit all meat? No. Here's the difference. Fresh meat, beef, veal, chicken, fish, is much safer, but it has its limits. No more than 4 or 5 servings a week, about 500 grams raw total. More than that increases the risk. The real problem is excess and precisely the cooking method. And pay attention, because in a few seconds I'll give you the top 3 best alternatives to processed meats and how to use them to rebuild your gut. But first, a detail everyone overlooks: how you cook. You know that brown or black crust on the edges of your meat, chicken, or fish after roasting or frying? That burnt part, so crispy and tempting, is full of acrylamides, powerful carcinogens. I know it's hard to resist that flavor, but those edges are an invisible time bomb. The solution? Cook only until lightly browned. Avoid dark browning, avoid black parts. Cut away any burnt crust, and with that simple act, you add years of health to your life. Now we've seen what to avoid. And now, the good news. Let's talk about how to put your gut in defense and resilience mode. Where to start? With oils. Today you learned which ones to discard. So what should you cook with? First choice, virgin avocado oil. Second, virgin olive oil, not extra virgin because it burns easily. And yes, you can use butter in small amounts for sautéing, not frying. The key is to use a little and always on low heat. What about extra virgin olive oil, known as liquid gold? It's amazing, but only cold. Add it to your salads, your vegetables, your soups when they're warm. Never use it for cooking because its healthy fats burn and can even turn harmful. 1 tablespoon a day helps reduce inflammation and protects your arteries. Let's continue. How do you rebuild your microbiome? Here's the formula. Incorporate green juices, blended celery, cucumber, spinach, apple, kiwi, lemon, ginger, turmeric. And please don't strain them. The pulp is gold for your good bacteria. Drink 1 a day and your gut will start thanking you. Also fermented dairy, natural yogurt with no sugar, kefir, kombucha, sauerkraut. Important, not those yogurts that are pasteurized and full of sugar and colorants. They're useless. Look for products with live bacteria. Now add in activated seeds, chia, flax, sesame. Soak them overnight, and in the morning you'll have a sort of natural gel that lubricates your intestines, helps keep you regular, and also fights inflammation. Highly recommended. And what's impressed me most? Some seasonings are real medicine. Mustard powder, oregano, turmeric, powdered ginger. Did you know a pinch of mustard powder on broccoli activates sulforaphane, one of the most powerful antioxidants that exists? A nearly unknown tip. And if you're a garlic fan, that adds another layer of defense. But perhaps the most powerful and cheapest weapon for your colon's health is apple cider vinegar. But not just any kind. It has to look cloudy with the mother floating inside. Those particles are living bacteria. Use it cold on your salads or take 1 or 2 tablespoons in a glass of water. But always drink it with a straw to protect your teeth. It's a natural probiotic that can repopulate your gut like nothing else. So far we've talked about foods, but how you cook matters just as much. Let me tell you in advance, the best way I know is steaming, and it's easier and more affordable than you think. A simple stainless steel steamer basket, put it over hot water in a pot, place the veggies on top, and in 3 to 5 minutes they're ready, full of nutrients and flavor. Boiling is good too, but remember, some vitamins stay in the water. If you can, use the broth for soups. Baking is fine, but beware of dark browning and burning. Air fryers with moderate cooking are a great modern alternative. Just don't overcook. What's worst? Frying, reheating burned oils, roasting until burnt, or smoking food. That loads your gut with dangerous substances and ruins your microbiome. Think of your colon as a garden. If you plant microbiome, you'll have health. If you plant toxins, you'll have disease. How do you know if something's wrong? There are signs you should never ignore, and I'll detail them now. Look at your stools. They should be cylindrical, more or less smooth, without deep cracks. The normal frequency can vary. You might go 1 to 3 times a day, or once every 3 days. If your pattern suddenly changes and it's hard to go, talk to your doctor. If your stools are like dry pellets, cracked, or very hard, check your fiber and water intake. But if for no reason you suddenly have trouble or your pattern changes, it's a warning sign. Watch the shape. If your stools come out flattened like a ribbon or tape, it could mean there's an obstruction or a polyp growing in the intestine. Also, see if the color changes, very pale, black, or red, or if you flush and there's blood in the water. It could be digestive bleeding, even without pain. Don't ignore it. Do you get lab results showing anemia? If you're an older adult and there's no other explanation, it could be silent blood loss in your colon. Also, lots of fatigue, unexplained weight loss, prolonged pain, or bloating. Most of the time it will be something minor, but it's always better to check. This is key. Colon cancer, at first, causes no symptoms. That's where prevention is truly powerful. It's not enough just to eat well. We need tests that detect and remove the problem before symptoms appear. So now here's the truth about colonoscopies. A colonoscopy is the gold standard test. A camera goes into your colon, checking carefully looking for lesions, polyps, suspicious areas. It's done by a trained gastroenterologist. If a polyp is found, it can be removed right then and analyzed. 95% of colon cancers start as a small benign polyp, which takes years to turn into a tumor. If you remove it in time, you can prevent cancer. It's that simple. That's the magic of prevention, seeing the invisible and eliminating it. Now, if you're 45 or older, you absolutely need to talk to your doctor about having a colonoscopy. If you have a family history of colon cancer, parents, siblings, uncles, a colonoscopy might be needed earlier, around 35 or 40 years old. Is it dangerous? Almost not at all. It's done with light sedation, the procedure is safe, and the risks are tiny, especially compared to the benefits. Don't let fear or taboo work against you. This test can literally change your life. Yes, there may be minor discomfort afterward, but the risks are extremely low. I don't want anyone to end up with colon cancer out of ignorance or fear of a test. Burn this into your memory. Colonoscopies save lives and give you the chance to change the end of your story. And finally, what few tell you, less than 10% of colon cancers are genetic. The rest are due to what you eat, your habits, your daily lifestyle. If you make small changes, eat anti-inflammatory food, eliminate ultra-processed products, cook better, monitor your symptoms, get tested when you should, you hold the key to protect yourself in your own hands. And remember, no one cares for your health better than you do. Knowledge is worth more than any medicine. In summary, eliminate what inflames, add what regenerates, observe your body, and act in time. Today, you unlock the secret map to prevent one of the most silent yet preventable cancers. Don't keep this info to yourself. Share it, subscribe, and let me know in the comments which fact surprised you most. Your gut, your future health will thank you. I'll see you in the next video with more secrets for a better life. Now go take care of your colon like an expert.